What if I told you that a train can run without diesel, without overhead electric wires, and can carry nearly 700 passengers across Haryana? Sounds like science fiction, doesn't it? But on July 17, India turned that fiction into reality. Prime Minister Narendra Modi flagged off India's first hydrogen-powered train from Jind in Haryana, making India one of the very few countries in the world to operate this cutting-edge green technology. And this is not just any hydrogen train. According to Indian Railways, this is among the world's longest and most powerful hydrogen train sets ever built. So how does this train work? Why is the world watching India's experiment? And how could hydrogen be the future of Indian Railways? The hydrogen train will run on the 89-kilometer Jind-Sonipat section in Haryana. It has 8 passenger coaches, 2 driving power cars, capacity to carry 682 passengers, maximum speed of 75 kilometers per hour. The train will make 2 round trips every day, covering nearly 356 kilometers and consuming around 300 kgs of hydrogen. But the bigger story lies in what powers this train, because unlike conventional trains, this one emits almost nothing except water. Most trains in India work in one or two ways. Either they run on diesel or they draw electricity from overhead wires. Hydrogen trains do neither. Instead, they generate electricity on board. The principle is surprisingly simple. Combine hydrogen with oxygen and you produce electricity, heat and water. This electricity powers the train motors. No smoke, no diesel, no carbon emission. And this is why hydrogen trains are often called the trains of the future. India's hydrogen train has 2 driving power cars. Each power car contains 4 integrated power packs. Every power pack has a hydrogen fuel cell and a lithium ferrophosphate battery. The train stores for 40 kilograms of hydrogen on board under very high pressure. The fuel cell takes in this hydrogen and combines it with the oxygen from the air. The chemical reaction generates electricity, and each power pack produces 115 kilowatts from the fuel cell and 185 kilowatts from the battery. Together, one power pack generates around 300 kilowatts. 4 power packs produce 1200 kilowatts. Since there are 2 power packs, the total power output becomes 2400 kilowatts or around 3200 horsepower. That makes it one of the most powerful hydrogen train sets in the world. The engineering behind this train is absolutely fascinating. The fuel cell provides a constant supply of electricity. When the train starts moving, it doesn't need maximum power, so the extra electricity charges the onboard battery. As the train speeds up and requires more energy, the battery joins the fuel cell to provide additional power. Then, as the train slows down, approaching a station, the demand drops again. The battery stops supplying power and starts getting recharged. And by the end of an entire journey, the battery remains almost 80% charged. So in simpler words, the train is continuously managing its own energy. It's efficient, it's smart, and it's remarkably clean. Hydrogen may be the fuel of the future, but it comes with a major challenge. It is extremely flammable and it has to be stored at very high pressure. Normal atmospheric pressure is 1 bar. Hydrogen must be stored between 200 and 500 bar. That is hundreds of times greater than normal atmospheric pressure. This makes storage and transportation extremely difficult. To overcome this challenge, Indian Railway has established a dedicated hydrogen fueling facility at Jind. The facility can store approx 3000 kilograms of hydrogen. There is also a special chiller plant. During dispensing, hydrogen is maintained at -15 degrees Celsius, making it easier and safer to handle. This infra itself is a major technological achievement. Hydrogen trains are very rare in the world. The first hydrogen passenger train was launched in Germany in 2018 by French company Alstom. Since then, countries like Germany, Japan, China and US have experimented with the technology, but even today, very few countries run hydrogen trains commercially. But the reason behind it is very interesting, because the technology is still expensive and evolving. Producing hydrogen remains difficult, transporting it is even complicated, and building the required infra demands huge investment, and this is why India's entry into this field is significant. It signals that the country's ambition to become a leader in green transportation technologies has really come to the fore. The project began in 2020-21. The work officially started in April 2022. The contract was awarded to Hyderabad-based company Medha, which supplies propulsion systems to Indian Railways. Interestingly, this hydrogen train was created by modifying an existing diesel train. The old diesel engines were replaced with a completely new zero-emission hydrogen electric propulsion system. The fuel cells themselves have been imported from Canadian company Ballard, one of the world's leading hydrogen fuel cell manufacturers. The entire project cost around 136 crore. After completing all safety and performance trials, the Ministry of Railways approved this operation May last this year. India's first hydrogen train is more than just another railway project. It is a statement that India wants to lead in green mobility, a statement that innovation and sustainability can go together, a statement that the future of transportation may not run on diesel or even electricity alone, but perhaps on the most abundant element in the universe, which is hydrogen. So the big question now is this: will the train remain a one-off experiment, or is it the beginning of a hydrogen revolution on Indian tracks? The answer will depend on how successfully this first train performs. But one thing is certain: the journey towards cleaner and greener transportation of India has already left the station. So what do you think about India's first hydrogen train? Could hydrogen become the future of Indian railways? Tell us in the comment section below. If you like this video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to Organiser. Thank you for watching.